Hey guys, Cody with Princess Craft RV. Come along with me as we go through this Forest River arpad 172 model. Starting up front, to get you latched onto your 2-inch ball, just drop it down onto the ball using the tongue jack, and then all you've got to do is take this guy and latch it over. Make sure that the safety here does get latched on. You should not be able to open this. When you want to unlatch off the ball, all you've got to do is pick up the safety and unlatch it, pull it up just like that. To complete your hookup, we're going to have your safety chains. That will need to cross, and then they will connect to your receiver hitch on your tow vehicle. We also have your breakaway cable for the electric brakes on the trailer. If for some reason you were to come detached from your tow vehicle, this cable is designed to yank out of the breakaway box and engage the electric brakes on the trailer. And last but not least, for hookup, we've got your standard 7-way RV plug-in here. This is going to run all your running lights, brake lights, turn signals, and electric brakes if your tow vehicle is so equipped with a brake controller. Now, Forest River actually has a place for this to store. It's right here on the side of the trailer in this little receiver. All you got to do is line this up and push it down in there. That's going to keep it up off the ground, keep the dirt and everything out of it, and water as well. So moving up to our power tongue jack here, very basic operation. First off, we've got a light on it, so if you're loading in the dark, just turn your light on, it's going to help you see. And then we've got your up-down operation, which means just that. Now, if the electric motor does fail on this jack or power goes away for whatever reason, it does have a manual override. Just open up this plug on top, and there is a crank down inside that you can put on to manually crank this jack up and down. One last thing on the jack is this does have an adjustable height foot, so you can adjust the height of this foot to get more distance of travel if you need to. All you've got to do is get the put this onto a ball, pull the pin out, and then you can set the height of the foot. Moving back from there, we've got your propane cover. A couple different ways you can get in here. If you just need to get in to turn your cylinder on and off, just loosen up this little travel lock nut right here for the lid. Push it back out of the way, and that's going to allow you access into your propane cylinder to your service valve. If you actually need to remove this to remove the cylinder, you got to loosen up this wing nut on the back, or actually take it all the way off. And then we can pull this cover up and off, and that's going to give us complete access to our LP cylinder. Once you get here, if you need to remove it for service to go get it exchanged or refilled, make sure your service valve is closed. Disconnect your LP service line. Loosen up the wing nut here on the cylinder clamp. It does not need to come all the way off, just loose. And then you can just lift your cylinder out. Once your cylinder's out, again, it can go into your vehicle, go get it refilled or exchanged. Just remember it needs to be in the upright position at all times. And once you're done, to put it back in, just drop it back into the clamp. Reattach your service line. And then if you need to, open your service valve, and don't forget to snug up your clamp here. And this just needs to be snug. It's kind of a no-tool deal. Don't over-tighten it. It can make it very difficult down the road if you need to service it. And then you can put your cover back on. When you put your cover back on, if you open up the top so you can see where the stud and the hole come together, make it a lot easier to get that lined up so you can put your wing nut back on it. When you close your lid, do not forget to snug this down. These have been known to blow off if you don't have this secured. So just snug it down, make sure it's good and tight before you get ready to go. Now, just behind the propane is where your batteries would sit. You can equip this, you can fit up to 2 batteries in here. You can do 12-volt lead acid, AGM, lithium, whatever you would like to put in here. This is where those batteries would mount, and this would be all your cables that hook up to it. Red to red, black to black, Now you do have battery cables here, and you do have solar cables here. So moving over here to the off-door side of the trailer, a couple things going on. We've got all your manufacturing tags right here in the front corner. This is going to be all your tire sizes, tire pressures, weights, VIN number, all that good information. So look that over, make sure you stay in compliant, make sure you stick with the tire information and all that kind of stuff that Forest River recommends for this trailer. Now also, all four corners of this trailer is equipped with a stabilizer jack. These just crank down with a manual crank, or you can use like a 3/4 or 19mm socket to fit on here, and you can use a power drill to run these down. Now just remember, these are not for lifting or leveling the trailer, they are just for stabilizing. So you're just gonna run them to the ground once you get the trailer level and just put a little pressure on them to kind of snug things up and stabilize the trailer. Moving back from there, we've got your outside shower. Very simple operation. This can hang in the door if you'd like to. Has a flow control lever on it here, so you can just rotate that to control the amount of water coming out. And then you've got hot and cold set up here to adjust your temperature to your liking. These are great for rinsing off your feet or something like that if you are at the beach or something along those lines. And then underneath we have your sewer hose storage tube that you can store sewer hose in. And then just behind our outside shower, we've got a cable satellite exterior hookup. It's just a traditional coax hookup for park cable or a portable satellite system. And we've got our 30-amp service cord. Very simple hookup on this thing. We've got 3 prongs, one of them being kind of an L shape. Same thing on the trailer, and all we've got to do is match all that up, push it on, give it a little turn to the right to lock it on, and then use your lock ring, snug it down. And that's going to keep everything from falling off. Now we've got our dump station just below that. On the left is going to be our sewer outlet, or our black water, which is going to be our larger valve, which is going to be for toilet. On the other side, we've got our wastewater, or our gray valve, which is our smaller one, which is for sink and shower water. So when you hook up to dump, just put your sewer hose onto the bayonet fitting here, pull your dump water, black water, dump it first. Once it's done, follow it with your gray water to help rinse your hose out. And that's pretty much it for your dump. Tucked in behind your off-door side wheel, we find your low point drains. So just these two right here. All you have to do is turn these valves to drain them and let all the water out. That'll help you with your winterizing process. This trailer is equipped with a black tank flush, which is really great for flushing out your black tank. Take a separate hose, do not use your freshwater supply hose, and hook it up here, hook it up to the hose bib. Make sure your black valve is open with your sewer hose hooked up. Put your water hose on, turn it on, let it run about 5 to 10 minutes. That's going to do some extra work at getting your black tank rinsed out so you can make sure it's good and clean and ready to go. Moving back on your wheels and tires, again, follow the manufacturer's recommendation for tire size and pressures. Lug nuts do need to be checked periodically for proper torque. We do recommend typically 100 foot-pounds on these. So get you a torque wrench and check your torque specs on those before you hit the road. These two vent accesses right here are for the refrigerator. There's traditionally not a whole lot in here for consumers, but for us as service guys, we need in here occasionally. But they do have covers on them that are like this, that have these little lock tabs in each corner. So if this is running this way, it's locked. To unlock it, all you've got to do is turn it to where it's facing this way, and then pull from the bottom, and then tip it out and down, and that'll get it out for you. And then you can get in here, clean, do anything you need to do. It's a good place to check for insects at least. Get in and check stuff like that. When you put them back on, make sure that you get these all the way in and you do get them locked. These will blow off if you don't get them locked. Moving back from there, we've got your freshwater connections This is going to be your freshwater fill. So this is going to be to carry water on board in the freshwater tank. Just put your hose in it, fill it up till it backwashes out or out of this vent, and that'll tell you that the freshwater tank is full. And I'll show you how to activate the water pump to get water out of the freshwater tank for use inside the trailer. Just below that's going to be our city water connection, and that's going to be to hook up with a freshwater hose through a pressure regulator to the trailer and provide water. Just pop the cap off, hook it up, and you will have water ready inside the trailer. You'll see right here we were talking about the wheels and tires. We've got it talking about your lug nut torque and all that. So they recommend some torque processes there. So pay attention, you know, to your mileage and follow the manufacturer's recommendations on that stuff. This is going to be our Suburban furnace exhaust. It gets hot and it can burn you, so do watch out for that whenever you're using your furnace in the winter time. Just behind that's going to be our water heater. It's going to be a 6-gallon water heater, and these work really well. This is going to be a gas electric model, so it can operate on gas, LP gas or electric. If you want it to work on electric, first of all, you do have to be plugged into shore power, and then there's going to be, make sure there's water in the water heater, and then there's going to be a switch right down here in the bottom left-hand corner that says on and off. So if it's flipped down, that's going to be on, up is off, and that's going to be for the 110 operation of the water heater for the heating element. It's going to be your anode rod here in the middle, also your drain plug. If you're not going to be using the trailer for a while, make sure you pull this out, drain it. This also needs to be replaced periodically as it deteriorates as it's supposed to. And then we've got your pop-off valve up top here. This is the best way, in my opinion, to check for water in the water heater. If you've got water provided to the trailer and you're getting no water out of the pop-off valve, you have no water in the water heater. So wait till you get some water out of there. Just pull this lever and you'll get water out if the water heater's full. To get this thing closed, you just have to flip this little D-loop out. It's going to go right through this slot. Give this a little tug, turn it, and then fold it over. That's going to be to keep your water heater door shut, and reverse is how you get it open. Underneath your water heater area, we're going to find your freshwater tank drain. That's going to be this cap right here. Just take that cap off, and that's going to allow your freshwater tank to drain out. Just behind the water heater, we do have a big pass-through storage. And your baggage doors here are magnetically held up. So they have a magnet on the metal strap on the door and a magnet on the side of the trailer. Just push it up to it. It's going to hold it open. These things work great. To close it or open it, it's just a turn latch, thumb turn latch on one side, and then it's going to be a keyed lock on the other side. On the newer arpads, this is going to be the same as your door key to open everything up. Moving around to the back of the trailer, we've got your spare tire here that is mounted. 2 nuts here, so if you need to get it off, it's pretty accessible, pretty easy to get to and carry that there. Not a whole lot going on in the back. Let's go around to the door side. This is going to be the other baggage door for the pass-through storage at the rear of the trailer. The compartment works just the same as the other side. We do have this rail here, this Keter rail that runs along the edge of the trailer. It's going to be for like an R-dome or an awning of some type that could be put onto this trailer. Just above the wheel, we do have an exterior 110 outlet that's GFCI controlled, which means if your GFCI inside the trailer is tripped, this outlet will not work. So check that and make sure it's not tripped first. Up here, we've got a couple outdoor speakers, a exterior light for you here. And to use your entry step. Very simple process. Fold the bottom one onto the top one, pick up here from the edge and push it in. To get it out, just grab it, pull straight out, let the first one lock in, and then fold out the bottom step. So just underneath the door here to the right of the step, you're going to find a latch point to tie your pet on or something else like that that you want to keep secure. keep them from running off, anything like that, you can latch it on right there and you'll be good to go. And we've got the other side of your sewer hose storage. So this passes all the way across the trailer and you can access it from either side. And last but not least, up here on the front of the trailer by your batteries, we're going to have your RVQ or quick connect gas line hookup for portable barbecue or anything else that might be able to operate on a gas line. So it's just got a lockout valve here. This is to keep gas from coming out. So you've got to have this turned off, hook up your gas line. It's a quick connect, so you're going to push back on the collar, push your gas line in, and then release the collar. It should stay. Then you'll be allowed to turn the gas on. Make sure the other end is hooked up to your appliance because it's going to be free flowing at that point. And to disconnect your line, you do have to turn this off, and it'll just be the reverse, push the collar and pop the line out. That should pretty much cover the outside of your arpad 172. Let's go check out the inside. All right guys, so to use your screen door on this trailer, to get it to release from the main door, all you've got to do is push down on the handle here, and that's going to release your screen door. And then you can come back and latch it in place and then pull your slider over. It's going to help keep the bugs out, keep the screen door open, so you can have some natural ventilation in the trailer. So you can still get in and out from out here. There's a handle on the other side, just like this one. And you can open it up. And then to get it to latch back to the main door, just push it back to it, and it's gonna automatically latch on. For your entry door lock, the lever here, so when you're inside getting ready to go to bed, you wanna lock everything up from the inside. It's just gonna be the deadbolt lever here. And that's gonna, so when it's the two red dots don't line up, that means it's deadbolted. When they do line up, that means it's unlocked. Other than that, just your paddle operation to get in and out. So just coming inside of the 2020 arpad 172, we've got your fire extinguisher here to the right. Just a quick check on this thing periodically is going to be that little green button on top. Push it down, make sure it pops back up. If it does, everything's good to go. So the newer arpads do come with your pet-friendly dishes here that you can feed your dogs with, put water in, good stuff like that. To the left of the door on the 172 model, we have the road vac. Two cool features to this one. First of all, this one right here at the floor is going to be a broom vac. So sweep up your pile, sweep it over to it, and then all you have to do is open the door, and it's going to suck your trash in into the filter or the bag, which is kept up in this portion. Now you can connect a hose up here to this side as well, but Forest River doesn't provide these with the arpad, so they do have to be purchased separately. And then you can just use your on-off switch right here to turn it on if you so want to use a vacuum hose. So to get to your filter and your bag, it's just going to be, this little door has to be to the left, and then there's going to be an access right here. So you're just going to put your finger in there and pull to the left. That's going to allow you to open up this whole cover. So on your filter here, this can be rinsed and reused for a few times before it's probably going to need to be replaced. And then your bags as well. So they're going to be a one-time use, and then you'll have to replace the bag once it's full. So to put this on, you can see that it's got push collars and stuff like that on it. And in the back of the larger section here, there's another place for this to hook on for the broom vac. So you're going to hook onto the back. So just take that, line it up, and push it on. And then you're going to line up the front one to this one here and push it on. And then the left side of the lid has to go in first. And then this is just going to close like that. And that's pretty much it to the road vac. Just above that's going to be our monitor panel with a couple of switches. So first off, our monitor panel has a few LEDs here on the left, which is going to tell us our tank level as well as our battery charge status. So anytime you're plugged in, the battery charge status is always going to read full because your converter's putting out voltage and charging everything up. And then you've got your fresh black and gray, which will adjust accordingly to how much is in the tank. Left switch here is for water heater. This is going to be for the gas side operation of the water heater. So all you got to do is flip that on. You'll see that fault light come on. It's going to stay on for about 15 seconds, and then it's going to shut off. And as long as it stays off, the ignition is taking place, the water heater's lit, and everything is going as it's supposed to. Next to that's going to be our water pump switch. So if you are dry camping or you're traveling with water for bathroom use or anything like that, and you've got it in your water tank, just turn your water pump switch on. Water pump's going to come on, pressurize the system, and then you're going to have water for use at your sink and toilets. So moving up into the front of the arpad 172, we've got your bunk beds. They come with the teddy bear bunk mattresses, which are pretty cool. But under the bottom bunk is going to be a large storage area. Just lift it up. It's got a little finger pull here, and you've got a large storage area under here. Each bunk has a light that's right around the corner that has a push button on it. So right on the face of it in the center, there's a push button that can be pushed and turn that light on and off. So the two crank handles that come with this trailer are this is gonna be for your stabilizer jacks. Like I said, 19 millimeter or 3/4 inch socket there. This little smaller one, this is gonna be for your tongue jack. If you do have to do it in manual operation. Coming around right here by the bunks, we also have your clothes rod. You can pop that out, hang some clothes on it, or swimming suits, whatever you want to hang on it. Down from there, we've got your Dometic thermostat, which is going to control your air conditioner and your furnace. And this is a touch capacitive, which means all you have to do is tap it. You don't necessarily have to touch it, and you can cycle through your modes. You've got first one's going to be fan mode, so you can select your fan mode, and this is going to be for all operations. So you got low, auto, and high. We recommend that you just leave it in auto and let it do what it's going to do. And then you can select your mode. You'll see down here cool or furnace, and then these two arrows here are going to be to select your desired temperature for the room. And that's pretty much it for that. Moving down from there, we've got another 110 outlet and your LP alarm. The LP alarm does have a test button on it. Check periodically, make sure it is working like it's supposed to. Overhead's going to be your Dometic air conditioner. This thing's got a bunch of different flap variations for air distribution. The big straight down one, you can close that off right here. You've got ventilation on the side, so you can direct this towards your dinette or your bed area. And then we've also got flaps on the side that can be opened up so you can get air into the bathroom and down into your cooking area. So you can kind of pick and choose on this thing however you would like. Now you do have a couple of filters on this, one on each side in these areas right here that just pulls out the front, and you have a filter. So this thing can be rinsed and reused. Just try not to damage the netting and let it dry before you put it back in. These only should fit one way, so your finger has to be able to kind of fit into this to pull it, so you don't want that facing the ceiling. It makes it difficult for them to get out. So make sure it's facing down. Don't cram them in. They should slide in nice and smooth and snap in. Moving right here up to the top side by the door, we've got two switches. The first one here is going to be for your patio switch. It's going to be an amber light out here in between your speakers. And then the other switch is going to be your main switch, which is going to control all of your main 3 cabin lights inside the trailer. Just behind that, we've got your overhead storage above your cooktop. So this unit is pre-wired for solar. So this kind of gives you the dimensions and the area of the location to install the solar controller if you wanted to install solar. Also comes equipped with your Furrion radio player. It's got a HDMI port, USB port, auxiliary. It's got a lot of cool features that you can use on it. It's also Bluetooth, so you can stream music through it and all that good stuff. Moving down just below that, we've got your Suburban 2-burner cooktop. Very easy to light. You will need a stick lighter or a match. Just turn your knob to the light position. Push and hold the knob down. Establish your flame. Light your flame for your desired burner. Give it about another 5 or 10 seconds before you let up on that. And then once you let off, your flame should stay and you can do your cooking. Now this is a glass cooktop. do let your burners cool off before you close it so you don't cause any damage to the glass. Your kitchen faucet, you do have a sink cover here that fits in nicely. Now to use your faucet, to choose your flow control, you're just going to push the knob or pull the knob towards you or push it towards the stem, and that's going to be how we turn your water on and off. Now temperature is going to be left and right. To the left is going to be hot, to the right is going to be cold. Anywhere in between is going to be how you mix the two temperatures. This does come with a sink stopper, so if you need to hold some water in the sink, you can do that. Just under the cooktop, we do have another GFCI controlled outlet and 2 USB charge ports. Got your cabinet storage underneath. And this is going to be your GFCI outlet right here. So as you can see, it does have a green light on it. That means everything is good to go. If it trips, green light's going to go out. That's going to kill all your other 110 outlets and nothing's going to work. So you do have to reset that and the green light should come back on. As long as all that's good to go, everything should work just fine. Just below that, we do have all your storage drawers here. So overhead on the ceiling, on your main interior lights, these can be turned on and off individually. They do have a push button right in the middle of them to turn those on and off. And that goes for these 3 as well as the 1 in each bunk area. These 2 white circles up here are going to be for your ceiling speakers for the interior. And then across from your kitchen, we've got your convection microwave. So it is just a convection microwave, so it can be used regularly or in convection mode, so you can cook up like a pizza or something along those lines. Your Dometic refrigerator operates in 3 modes. You've got electric, gas, or battery operation. So to kind of get things going on this, first button here is going to be your main power button. Just push it, all your lights should come on, and it's going to automatically default to your last desired choice. Let me actually make sure that's right. Yeah, okay. So once you get everything on, you can choose your desired mode, whether you want electric, gas, or battery. We do not recommend battery mode for pretty much anything unless you absolutely have to use it. It's a maintainer and it's not designed to cool, it's designed to maintain, and generally it ends up running your battery dead if your trip is too long. We've got your temperature setting here. So you just push this and then you'll see the lights going up. So you can choose your desired temperature. And then this last button with the little triangle and exclamation point is a warning light. So if you're trying to light on gas and you've got air in the line, you have to ventilate all that, it's going to sound an alarm and this is going to light up. Instead of turning it off and then back on, you should be able to push that, should reset it and start the ignition process over again. To get into this, you just have this little button right here on the top of the door. Just push it down, pop it open, and there you go. Inside of your refrigerator. Top's going to be the freezer section. Bottom's going to be your refrigerator section. Now these can take anywhere from 12 to 24 hours to cool off. We do recommend you get them plugged in at home before you hit the road if you know you're going to be putting stuff in there to get it cold for you, so you can go ahead and stock it up and get it cold. So just below the refrigerator is going to be our WFCO converter or power distribution panel. Inside you're going to find your 110 breakers and you're going to find your regular 12 volt fuses. So if you're having any kind of power issues with the 110 side, check your breakers. If you're having any problems with the 12 volt side, check your 12 volt fuses. Now these fuses are just standard blade type fuses, can be purchased just about anywhere. All right, let's move back into the dinette area after I tuck my shirt in. Have I missed anything yet? Nope. Ooh, all right. So this has a big U-shaped dinette, which is really nice and spacious. Got a window on each side that pretty much operate the same way. So they just slide open. So they have a release right here. All you got to do is pull that out towards you, and then you can slide the window back, and that's going to open. If you want to, you can open the screen, or you can leave it closed for bug control. To close it, just push it until it snaps back into place. Now you do have a shade on these windows as well. So all you have to do is pull that down from the top to cover your window and give yourself some privacy, or keep out the light at night when you're getting ready to go to bed. Now these are kept on strings here to keep things working and tight. Try not to stretch those out too much, because the tension on those is what makes that shade work appropriately. Just over my head here, you'll see we've got your smoke alarm. It's just a standard smoke alarm with a 9-volt battery in it. So check it periodically, replace the battery as needed. On your big rear window, we've also got a shade back here. It's bigger. So it's going to work the same way though, so all you got to do is pull it down, and that's going to give you your shading for the back window. The window around on the other side, that's going to be a funny, is going to be your fire escape window. So it's going to have a couple extra latches, these red ones here. All you got to do is tip those out, and that's going to allow you to push the whole window out and give a little more space to crawl out of here if you need to, which hopefully you won't. And then just close them down like that. This window operates the same as the other one I showed you. And then we've got your 110 TV here. Has all the hookups on it, that on the back of it, that you would expect from any modern TV these days. Up top here, we've got your booster box, or your booster plate. It's got a little button on it that turns that red light on and off. If you want to watch park cable, if you're hooked up to the park cable on the outside of the trailer, you do need to turn that off and make sure the red light's off to allow the signal to flow. If you're going to hook up to satellite, you're going to have to take this off and move to the top one. Requires a different type of cable. And then we've got 110 outlet, and just a porthole that runs your cables and stuff back over to your Furrion radio. So to store your TV here, this bracket's actually going to pretty much stay flat. You want it as flat as it can be up against the wall. And then you can pull your travel strap around it here and buckle it like so. That way it's good to go and it's not bouncing around for travel. So now that we covered that stuff, let me show you how to make this into your spare bed. All right, guys, so to get your tabletop up so we can make this into a bed, all we've got to do is pop this up off of the posts. So let's see if I can do that. So just lift up off of it. It's going to allow you to get your tabletop up off in there. Then we're going to take these two posts and take these loose. Like that. I like to tip the cushions up to get them out of the way. It gives me a little more space. Then we're going to take our tabletop. We're going to lay it right down in here on these supports. And then we're going to take our cushions. And that's going to make our bed out of our dinette. So the opposite to take it up is just going to be the reverse. Pull your cushions up. And take your table up. And then you can put your posts back in and put your table back on. But before I do that, I'm going to show you a couple other things under here. Okay guys, so underneath the dinette, right below the TV, we've removed an access panel that's screwed down. It's going to give you access to your furnace and your water heater. Now on your water heater, the biggest thing that I want to show you in here is going to be these two valves. There's one on the hot line right here and one on the cold line. Now these are going to be bypass valves that allow the water to bypass the water heater for winterization purposes. So whenever you're pumping in your antifreeze solution, It's not going into the water heater, and we're just taking care of the rest of the water system. Okay guys, so if you're going to be hitting the road, it's a good idea to secure this table into the down position. To do that, you're just going to make it down almost to like a bed. Then we're going to take this strap, and it's going to run across to this clip, and this is on both sides of the dinette, and then you're just going to strap that down. That's going to help keep everything from moving around while you're traveling down the road. You could use it like that while you're using it as a bed as well. It's just going to help stabilize that the tabletop there for you. So last thing in your dinette area, this box right here, this is going to be your furnace output. So anytime you're running your heat, all your heat's going to come out of here. Just keep that in mind as you're using the trailer, especially if you have it made down into the bed back here and you may be storing stuff under here. You don't want to block off your furnace there. All right guys, so let me show you the other parts of winterizing other than bypassing your water heater. Underneath your cooktop in the cabinet in the bottom, I've removed this panel. It's just held in with a couple of screws at the bottom and pulled it out. And then all the way in the back, you'll find your water pump all the way back here. The biggest thing we're worried about is going to be this valve that's right there. If I can get my finger out of the way. It's going to be a valve that basically is going to change the water flow direction to this hose that we want right here. So what this allows us to do is to change the sucking direction of that pump to this hose. And we can take this hose, put it into our gallon of antifreeze solution, and suck it directly through this hose into our faucet fixture, our bathroom, our toilet, our outside shower, all that good stuff. And then you're done. It's a very simple process instead of having to pour it all into the tank and use more than you need. So you would bypass the water heater, come back over here, turn that valve, put this into your jug of antifreeze, turn the water pump on, and run all your faucets and fixtures, everything until they flow pink, and you're done with winterizing. Very simple process. All right, guys, last thing we're going to cover on the 172 is going to be our bathroom here. Just coming in is going to be our light switch. It's going to run the light on and off. There's also a button on the light itself up here that you can use. So if for some reason the switch isn't working, make sure that's turned on. Also, while we're up here, we do have a vent fan. You just crank it up. And then it's going to be a 4-speed setting. All you got to do is cycle through the button presses to get the higher speeds. Up to 900 CFM on this fan, so it works pretty good. Then you can just push the off button if you just want to turn the whole thing off, and then you can crank it back down. Once you get it all the way down, push that knob up, and that's going to kind of lock it in place for travel. For your shower, got hot and cold mixing here. You do have a diverter for the shower head, so you can just put water into the little sink here, or you pull up the diverter. That's going to run it up to the shower head, which has a flow control lever on it right here. One way is going to allow water to flow out. The other way is going to drop it down to a trickle. Since you only have, roughly 6 gallons of hot water in this trailer, you want to conserve. And last thing is the toilet over here. It's going to be hand flush. So halfway is going to put just water into the bowl. And if you pull it all the way, the valve's going to open, the blade valve's going to open, and everything in the toilet's going to go down into the black tank. That pretty much covers your toilet. Just remember to be using toilet treatment to control waste digestion and odors. That should pretty much cover everything on the inside of your arpad 172. However, if I have missed something, don't hesitate to give us a call. And again, this is Cody with Princess Craft RV.